Too. Now, fans of one of the BBC's best ever detective duos will be utterly delighted as J.K. Rowling's Cormoran Strike returns this Sunday for a fourth series, this one, Lethal White. Over 7 million of you have tuned in to watch so far. Often, I reckon, to find out if he finally gets together with his on-screen partner, Robin Ellicott. I love all that will they, won't they. The thing is, you kind of want them to not, because if they do, would it be ruined? Would it ruin the magic? Well, we know two people who might have a clue on that. Good morning. Welcome to the show, Holliday Grainger and Tom Burke. How are you?
Hi, morning.
Good,
How
hello.
are you?
Oh, lovely to have you on, Tom. I've realised detective work is in your genes. Your dad was David Burke, who, of course, was in The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes.
That's right.
It's my favourite ever Sherlock Holmes. Don't tell Cumberbatch, obviously. Okay, otherwise we'll all be in trouble. Tom, introduce us to the fourth series, Lethal White. Where are we so far with Cormorant? Where do we pick up?
Well, we pick up exactly where we left off, actually. We pick up at the wedding, Robin's wedding to Matthew.
Oh, gosh.
So that's fairly immediate. And so various things happen during the wedding reception, and I think we're left feeling that things might be shifting in quite a big way, and then suddenly we jump forward quite a lot of time, and we don't really know what's happened in the meantime. And other than going into the whole world of sort of backstabbing politics that the case takes place in, we keep going back to see quite what transpired after the wedding between the two of them.
Well, let's face it, this wedding was never a good idea. I mean, that's coming from a personal. I mean, because, come on, between them, I mean, there's such electricity. You just want them to get together. Holliday, I mean, Strike's name is on the tin, but actually Robin has probably gone through the biggest journey so far. I mean, she's, at the end of last series, she's gone through a lot. She's suffering still, of course. This must be a joy to play.
Yeah, completely. And yeah, it really is. And I think that is one of the exciting things that sort of from first series and all the way through even this series as well, Robin does go on an emotional journey, and you kind of see her sort of grow up a bit as well. Yes, and hopefully we end in a better place in this one.
I'm loving the two of you very tiptoeing around, because obviously we cannot reveal anything, we can't give anything away. It's so difficult, isn't it, discussing things that people haven't seen yet, and also because everybody watches it at different times, although some people may have read the books. I mean, there's such great characters. JK actually comes down to the set, I believe, sometimes when you're filming. Didn't she come down for some of the wedding scenes?
Yeah, she did. She came. We were in this amazing location for the wedding. We all cast and crew stayed for 3 days in this sort of beautiful manor house, and she came down to watch Robin get married to Matthew, which none of us really want to see.
Exactly, none of us wanted to see that. I was thinking, actually, I was wondering how many calls the show will be getting about, excuse me, where is this venue where she got married? Because that's a beautiful place. I'm imagining there'll be a list now of people trying to get through to that. I mean, where is Cormorant going? How much has he developed over the fourth series, do you reckon, Tom?
Well, there's a plot in the book to do with his nephew, which actually we didn't really have time to put in, but that shows a much kind of more fragile side of him, and I just tried to keep that in mind. I think he's a bit more of a mystery in some ways in this one. In some ways you're seeing it a lot from kind of Robin's inner world, and I think he's a bit... I think it's an interesting way to go, because I think we see him from her point of view quite a lot in this, and there's a bit of a mystery there about what's going on with him. Particularly in terms of that relationship, but he has met somebody. He's met
No.
Yeah. Am I giving that away? Yeah,
this is a mistake. They need to be together. But this is great, though, to just see how those relationships play out and what him being in a relationship is going to make Robin feel and about her own situation. I love it.
And he's quite cagey about calling it a relationship, I think. He's quite,
Oh, there is an amazing moment, actually, where he says something to her and he sort of doesn't explain himself and then he explains the rest and you're like, oh my goodness, he just said it. He just said it. We'll talk more. So much to discuss. Tom Burke and Holliday Grainger, more from these two marvels after U2 and a beautiful day. On the Breakfast Show this morning, Holliday Grainger and Tom Burke, who star in Strike a Lethal White, starting on BBC One Sunday at 9 o'clock. The return of Cormoran and Robin. And there's a lot going on. There's a grisly murder. There's a blackmailed minister, played brilliantly by Robert Glenister. Guys, I've got to ask you, moving forward, you're talking about the characters growing up and stuff like that. Has J.K. Rowling, who wrote these books as Robert Galbraith underneath the pseudonym, has she given you a sneak preview of Book 5, Troubled Blood, which comes out next month? And will you be filming that? Please tell us yes.
Yeah, we will be at some point.
Yes.
And no, I mean, I know kind of tiny bits, but not from Jo herself. But I'm always dying to ask her, and I feel like she probably would say. It just feels, I don't know if that feels a bit too like presumptuous or not. So I always try not to.
I
knew a little bit because there was a particular thing. My grandfather was a novelist, and there was a particular thing he wrote about that comes into the novel in a particular way, so we got chatting about that.
Oh, there's another little teaser. All the detectives listening, all the Poirots and Marples and the Juliet Bravos are going to be doing a bit of investigative work later on today. Holliday, last time we saw you was down at Maida Vale Studios in September for The Capture. What can you tell us? Second series definitely happening, yes?
Yes, it is. And I know quite a bit about that, but I can't say a thing, I don't think, so I won't.
It's so frustrating sometimes talking to people who star in pop dramas because you can't say anything. Do you know when you might be filming? I mean, obviously this year's been bonkers for that, and everything's been on hold.
Yeah, I think we're just going to wait till like spring next year.
Oh, that's way too long. But you have to. You've got to do it. Oh, goodness me. And Tom, very excitingly for you, playing Orson Welles in Mank alongside Gary Oldman. Incredible cast. What can you tell us about who is Mank, by the way, if anyone's wondering? It's not Noel or Liam Gallagher.
It's Mankiewicz who wrote the script for Citizen Kane. Herman. There was two. There was his brother, who became quite a prolific director, but Herman was this fascinating guy. Wrote a massive amount of films, of which he was mainly not credited for, which was sort of the thing then. And when he wrote Citizen Kane, initially he wasn't going to be credited for that either, and he sort of realised it was his greatest work, and then had to ask Wells to put his name on the poster, which Wells didn't exactly want to do at first because he was quite keen for it to just be his name, written by, starring, produced by, directed by. So that's part of the conflict I have with him in it.
Oh, fantastic. I love that. I'm playing Wells. I mean, this sounds like such an incredible story. I love the stories behind the stories in the films. So good. It's a real treat to speak to the two of you this morning. Good luck with the new series. I know everyone's going to love it. Good luck with keeping all the secrets. It's not easy being an actor. Keep these things secret. Holliday Grainger and Tom Burke star in Strike. Lethal White starts on BBC One on Sunday at 9 o'clock. Lovely to speak to you both. Take care.
Thanks, Zoe. Speak to you soon.
Thanks.
On a summer